Well, I'm so privileged to be here today, Christina. I never knew this memorial existed until about 2 months ago, and I've come early to walk around it, and it's just a wonderful memorial of remembrance to 24 years ago. I'm very privileged to be here.
What do you remember about that day?
I remember a lot from that day. There are a lot of highlights, the first of which was 8:46 a.m. I was in the North Tower on the 71st floor on the south side at my desk, preparing for a 9 a.m. meeting, which was going to be a good turning point for me. And at 8:46, there was this most tremendous explosion high up in the tower, and that tower jerked, twisting south, bending, and then bending north, twisting south, and then settling. And I kicked back from the window. I thought I was going to be slingshot through the window. People were thrown to the floor with that explosive. And I was standing facing south, and a huge fireball, red, orange, yellow, came whooshing, sizzling, exploding right outside the window. And that all happened within 10 seconds. And voices from all around the office floor, 1 acre floor, saying, "Evacuate the towers, evacuate the towers." I was in no hurry to evacuate the towers, curiously enough. I had just finished a 20-ounce cup of coffee, and I knew it was going to be a long day. So I took care of business, came back to my desk to pick up the backups from the 2-year project I'd been working on, and there was one young lady that was on the floor next to my office. I said, "Whitney, what are you doing here?" So I escorted her down the stairs. We did evacuate down the stairs. And it's just one vivid memory after another. The stairwells were fairly uneventful. Took a little less than an hour to get down, over 1,400 steps, exhausting. We ran into 3 or 4 pockets of the aviation fuel smoke. Could not breathe. We thought we were going to expire in those pockets. I got down to the mezzanine level and went up to the windows to see the carnage. You couldn't see the Plaza Terrazzo any longer. It was full of paper and boxes and furniture and carnage, bodies all over. And then I went to the east side and saw the same thing. And as I'm watching, I'm right on the window. A man comes horizontal facing the windows. We get to eye level, and that instant, time stopped. We looked at each other in the eye. In the same instant, he went the last 5.5 feet, and the explosion sounded like a shotgun with the body. And I said to myself, this is worse than any scenario we've thought of to try to prevent another attack.
How did you feel when you got out? When you're running down, you finally make it out, you're the last one out. How do you feel?
Well, yes, because I was in the North Tower at that time. Now I'm going to the South Tower to get into the basements where our security command center was. I knew they needed help down there. I knew the security director. But I could not get down the stairs. The fire and police were bringing equipment up. So I went into the lobby, dark, nobody, signage hanging, elevator doors blown out, and I could hear a low-throated groaning, grinding, moaning sound from somewhere deep within the bowels of the tower. And I was too exhausted to consider what it might have been. I got out, went through the mall, got up to Church Street, turned around and looked, and I saw that both towers, the South Tower was engulfed in flames also. And just as I'm about to walk west to go between the towers to help whatever I can, a little voice in my head said, "Walk east." I did a military left flank, going west, got a dozen paces, and the earthquake happened. I thought Church Street was going to collapse into the subway system, and that was going to be the end of it. Everyone panicked, and at the same time I turned to look, and I watched the South Tower come down. There was just an instant of fear, and at the same time, peace. Where could you run to escape a quarter-mile high building falling on you? The panicking crowds, I matched my pace to theirs, worked my way out of the crowd and tucked myself behind a column of the Millennium Hotel. Watched everybody run screaming by. Loafers and high-heeled shoes are flying through the air. People were running out of their shoes and stepping on shreds of steel and glass and cutting their feet.
Okay. Why is it important? I'm sure it took a long time to recover from that, tragic day. How did you do it? How did you get yourself back together and, where you are now today, you're able to talk about it so calmly.
Yes.
How did you move on from that day?
Yeah, it's a good question, Christina. I made a determination almost from the beginning that I was not going to let the events of September 11th control me. I knew too many people that the event controlled them, and they never came back to work. I made a determination that I was going to be in charge of my life, not the event.
What?
And it's
Sorry.
no, it's taken years to do it. And 15 years ago, you and I couldn't have had this conversation. No, 20 years ago. There were many side effects, one of which I had no idea what your question was. I didn't know I didn't understand anyone's sentences, but I've gotten over that. We can talk now.
How long did it take you to get back to work?
Oh, the next day, we were on the internet. Emails worked, but the phones didn't. And we started calling everyone we knew, emailing. And so we were all back to work, many of us. And then Sunday, I was asked to help in the Emergency Operations Center out in Jersey City.
Did you receive any therapy, any mental health therapy?
From my wife, from my friends, and from talking with people. Very helpful, very therapeutic. And then I wrote a book, which was helpful.
Now, one more question. Why is it important for us to celebrate today? There's 100 million people born after 9/11. Why is it important for us to still honor those who lost their lives and just honor this day?
Well, it's an important piece of history, important piece of American history, and it's important to realize the mistakes that were made, to learn from mistakes, and do not allow ourselves to repeat those mistakes. And if we forget all this, and it's only natural, in 100 years we'll remember it. There'll be a sideline in a history book someplace, but that's okay, we're here now. And I have the privilege of speaking before high school students this afternoon and grade school students. And they're all very interested in what happened. So they ask good questions and they keep it alive.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Christina.